Hey everyone, welcome to the first Bag of Bricks podcast. I've been wanting to do some longer form content for a while, and I thought, doing a podcast, video podcast, whatever you want to call it, is a great way of doing it. Been listening to podcasts, watching people do their videos of their daily lives, things like that. And I wanted to start to do that with my channel. I'm not sure how frequently I'm going to do this yet. It's definitely going to be once a month. I think once a fortnight is pushing it for me, and I definitely can't do once a week. I do have a full-time job, so this is something I do on the side. Like I've always said though, I do my Lego channel as part of who I want to be and improving myself. And I want to talk about that a bit more in this first podcast. The reason this is called Bag of Bricks actually has a lot of meaning to me. It goes right the way back, and I've mentioned this a couple of times, is my introduction to Lego was a bag of bricks from my mum buying them at the market. Actually, I think it was 2 bags of bricks. Those 2 bags of bricks were bought, she brought them home. Didn't check the age category on it. They were definitely way above the age I was at. But anyway, I was 2 at the time and she bought me normal Lego. God bless you, Mum. I never looked back. I have been hooked on Lego ever since. Like so many other people in the Lego community, they have had a little bit of a dark age here and there, but we've always been brought back to Lego. And for me, I have had some bad periods recently, and Lego has really brought me back to life. Doing it with my kids, my family, has been absolutely magical. And I think that's something I really want to explore and talk about in this is my experience of doing Lego with my kids. And I've done some videos with them on here that you've seen. I want to do a lot more of that, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But what I really want to do is kind of talk about my life experience of Lego and how it impacts me at the moment, how, what I'm doing, what's happening in the Lego community. I'm doing news videos, I'm doing my podcasts, I'm doing my city videos, I'm doing reviews, I'm doing a lot of Lego stuff, but I'm not really talking about how it's impacting me as a person, and that's what I really wanted to try and do in this podcast. I think it's a good way for you to get to know me. I can talk to you, and what I want to make really clear from the very beginning of this is I want you guys asking questions. I want you to write in the comments down below what you want me to talk about, what you want to know. You want to know who I am, you want to know something about Lego or something about the history of Lego. I can talk about any of that one. I'm happy to do it. I'll go and research things if you want me to. I want this to be a podcast for the community about Lego, about my experience with Lego, about your experience with Lego. Let's make it go both ways. That's what I want this to be. So for me, Lego is something that's always been a part of who I am. I've always loved building. I did a civil engineering degree, and I think that was really inspired by my love of building, I've always loved doing architectural drawings. I've always loved doing engineering drawings. If you look at any of my notepads from schools, they're full of spaceships and city scenes and things like that. And I think that's largely from my Lego days. Now, I think when I was a kid, I actually grew up and I did a lot more Technic Legos. Believe it or not, I was a massive Technic fan growing up, and can't quite see over my shoulder here, but I've got like a whole shelf of Technic models up there. I love it. I'll be getting a new Land Rover set very soon, hopefully in the January sales. That's kind of who I am. That's me. I've always been creative. I used to build big models of spaceships. I always remember building a space shuttle this big when I was a kid. It was probably 2/3 of the height of me, built on a launch pad, had the full interior done on it. It was pretty epic. The only thing I hadn't done was the tanks and things like that. So apologize for my phone going off there. It's on silent, but it still went off. Who knows? But that's Lego. It's always been something that I've always gone to. I've always been happy. It's just tinkering with the bricks and playing with it. And now I've got my kids involved in it and sitting down and watching them develop. And Joss is now 5 and she can sit there and build some quite complicated sets already on her own. Callie's still getting to grips with understanding how the instruction manuals work, but it's wonderful seeing them develop. And even Daphne, my little baby, is playing with Duplo and putting the bricks together already. I admit she's still at that phase where she's happier taking the bricks apart, much to Callie's annoyance. But Callie today built a zoo. It was wonderful looking at her. She built this little scene. She was playing with it. She'd added vehicles to it. She'd done all kinds of things to make this little Duplo scene. It had a slide for the little minifigures to go down. And if you've never played with Duplo, it's a different experience to playing with big Lego. Yeah. It's a funny thing. You have to use your imagination in a different way, and it's kind of wonderful to sit there and try and figure out how to do it, and sit there with your kids and see them cotton on to what you've made, or go, oh, there's a vehicle, or there's a house, or that's a slide, or you can't do some more complicated things without buying some specialist parts. But Duplo's really a really interesting experience, and it's like I've never really until I've just started talking about this and the experience I had with the kids, I've never put it into words like that before. I think that's kind of why I wanted to do this video. I'm like pouring out what's going on and thinking about things in a different way. And I don't know how many of you are like that, where you just find that you talk about something with someone and suddenly a light bulb goes off and you realize, like, this is how you do it, or this is what that's doing, that's the impact it's having to me. And I've got goosebumps thinking about just doing those builds with my kids and seeing how they're developed, and the experience I've had and bonding with my kids in doing that has been brilliant, been absolutely brilliant. And my whole family comments on how much they enjoy doing it with me as well, which is, another key thing about the whole Lego experience is that bonding moment where we sit down and we all build a set together, perhaps. That's still slightly difficult because I've got kids at different ages, and trying to get them all to build something together is quite tricky. Callie just wants to play with what's built, or she gets upset if she can't build something, and Joss wants to get on and not be messed around by Callie, and kind of Dad, stop helping. So it's an interesting demographic. Actually, she never says Dad, stop helping. She wants to do it, but she wants my approval that she's done it right. It's at that stage. It's just magic. I love it, and that's what Lego is to me, and I want to kind of try and make that something that comes across in this podcast, how Lego impacts me, my life, my family. So I want to talk a little bit about where I've come from to get to this point. I've talked about how Lego's been a part of my life from the age of 2, how I have always been a fan, how I was a Technic boy. I used to be big monster trucks. I have so many of those big wheels that Lego used to make. I think I've got a dozen of them, and they were bought from Lego Shop at the time, which was, you had to fill in a paper form and send it off in the mail, and you had no idea when it was going to turn up. And I think I had some orders that turned up like a month later, maybe even longer than that. It was an interesting experience, but always happened. And when my mum picked me up from school and she had that big parcel with the Lego badge on it, I was like, yes, here's my Lego order. That's brilliant. Just love it, magic. And that's Bricklink and things like that. I just had a fantastic experience for that. Absolutely wonderful. I love it. And just getting into that. I'm dreading the day when my kids want to start ordering parts from that. Hopefully this channel will be at a point where I can give them a budget to go and buy their parts as well, and we can be building together. So the Lego for me has been one of those things I drifted away from. I lost touch with it, when I went to university and things like that, and during my kind of late teens, it was one of those things where I succumbed to peer pressure, where it was kind of frowned on a bit. I was more interested in going out and drinking and doing things and stuff like that. University, I was focused on actually passing my degree, stuff like that, and also drinking. Drinking was a big part of my life back then, and I'm actually pleased to say I don't drink as much now as I used to back then, which has done me, again, that's something that's changed a lot in me recently. Being a parent, going through a very rough patch recently, I actually made a decision to get fit and stop drinking as much. And I cannot tell you what that has done to me as a person. It really has opened my eyes to how much that was affecting me, how much I was relying on that to kind of, I guess, get through the day. I got home and I'd knock back a couple of beers and a glass of wine or something stronger. I still do drink, but I'll buy a pack of beer and it will last me a month. It's like, I'm not talking about 24 pack, I'm talking about a 6-pack of beer. That's, I do drink. I love drinking. I love alcohol. I love beer. I'm a beer person, but this is about Lego, so let's not talk about alcohol. I think I just got this into the general audience though. That's good. So there's Copper ticked off. I've just got to make sure I do that in every podcast. I'm going to try very hard not to swear, because I think it's important. I do appreciate younger people will be watching this. I'm not saying kids, but teenagers. And to be perfectly honest, I do want this to be a clean channel. That's important to me. So this channel came about from my rediscovery of Lego, from that dark period I'd had where I'd been away from Lego, and I just really wanted to do something where I was expressing myself, who was in developing myself, was really trying to be better at presenting, to get confidence up, and actually discover, were people actually interested in me, in what I wanted to do, and also as a way for me to get that confidence up to present. So, my business, I'm a co-founder of a startup, and one of those things is I have to talk a lot to customers. I will be doing a video series very soon as part of that. I will be standing up and doing talking in front of groups of people. So I've always done groups of, talking to small groups, but I'm talking about, a couple of hundred people, possibly a couple of thousand people going forward. We'll see if, we do as well as we're hoping we're going to do in the next year, then that's on the cards for me, doing that kind of thing. So talking to you guys, I've got 1,400 followers now. That's not bad for a 1.5 year old channel. I think that's pretty good. I'm hoping I can get it to my goal is to conservatively get the channel to 5,000 by the end of 2020. That's my conservative goal. I think if I focus my efforts correctly and step up the quality of what I'm doing, not necessarily the frequency, but really try to focus on making my videos that much better, up a notch, and trying to do 2 or 3 videos a week that people are interested in. That's where I want to go with it. That's why I've got this channel. So what am I going to do over the next year? Well, COP has been an interesting thing, and I've basically come to the same conclusion as most other people, that it's not going to be as bad as people think. My channel is general audience, and by YouTube's definition, that means you can actually set it as not for kids. Now, they accept kids will see it, but it's not for kids. This channel does have some videos that are tailored for kids, the ones I do with my kids, and I intend to do more of those. They will be marked as for kids, unfortunately, but my kids really want to do it, and I think it's an important thing for you guys to see who I am and who we are as a family, and I think it adds a lot of value. I'm a big fan of Greg over at BlockheadUK's channel. I love what he does. I love how genuine he is. I love his passion. I follow his podcast, and he's been a bit of an inspiration for me to get this sort of off the ground and start doing this. I'd been umming and ahhing about it, and then he started to do his Missing Pieces podcast, which I think is wonderful. I love getting to know him and getting his thoughts on it. So that's another inspiration, and finding those channels out there. Was Down Under Bricks Dub this week has he was going to pack his channel in, and we've all rallied behind and said, no, you can't Dub, we all love you, you're one of the most genuine YouTubers out there. Come on, dude, stick with it. It's not as bad as you think. It's not as bad as you think. Basically, the worst thing that's going to happen to you at the moment is YouTube will shut your channel down, which they probably won't, because he makes a lot of money for them. So he's another example of, I love talking to him. He's a great guy. We chat on Instagram sometimes. I talk to Greg sometimes as well through Instagram. These are guys I look up to, and I get inspiration from. I've made some amazing friends. I've got some friends on here I've never met before, who I think I'll be lifelong friends with. Mark over at the Lego Room is a very good friend of mine. He's been through a similar experience to me. He's had bouts of a bit of depression here and there. He's found Lego's really helped him. He's been up and down, and we've really helped each other. We've really connected and found a kind of common bond in Lego, our passion, our life. We're very similar people, and one day I hope to meet him. Ironically, now I live on the other side of the world, I've got to become really good friends with someone in England. Go figure. I've got Mike over at Dr. McBrick, who's a very good friend of mine as well. Again, someone I really click with and bond, and we get on really well. And I'll be doing a lot more work with him over the next year. We've decided we're going to do a lot more of our kind of live stream videos we do. I've got the BrickTubers network. Those guys, they're fantastic builders. Now, we're all super busy, which has meant we haven't put as much content as we would like out. But they're a great group of guys. So I've made these real bonds, and I love seeing people come in and regularly comment, and I love the work you're doing. I love your videos. I love everything about it. I love how you talk about it. I look up to how you present, things like that. It's great. It's exactly why I made this channel, and I want to share with you my Lego journey more. I want to focus more on Lego. I'm trying to figure out a couple of things I want to change on what I do at the moment. I like doing reviews. I find when I do a review, I talk about a set slightly differently, and I think of things while I'm actually doing the review. I'm not a professional reviewer. I'm a down-to-earth, honest dad reviewer. That's me. A dad reviewer. There we go. Let's call it that. I'm a dad reviewer. There's actually a YouTube channel. What's it called? I found it recently. It's like the guy bills himself as, I'm a dad who can, if I can do it, you can do it. I can't remember the name of the channel, but I was doing camera research. I just loved his attitude. If I can do it, you can do it. That's his mantra. Brilliant. I'm a dad reviewer. So I write down just what comes to my head. I talk about it. I go, this is interesting. That I loved how this went together. I think the minifigures are great. I think I could put a little bit more effort into certain bits, and I'm working on improving that. I want to do more on, I love building mocks, I really do. I just love building Lego, really do. And I think building mocks is me challenging myself to go beyond just building a set. It's actually me using my imagination. That's something I realised recently is how important your imagination is when it comes to Lego. It's something that I was building my city, and I originally set out to build something that's, I'm going to do something, what a lot of other people do and make it kind of realistic and things. And I just realised it's not supposed to be realistic. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a fantasy. And if you look at my petrol station I did recently, it's a petrol station that rockets can land on the top of. That's an example of what's going on. I built a Stargate from Stargate SG-1. I want to actually make that into something a bit more in the city. My space research centre is going to be improving soon. I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing with that recently, but I had a really cracking idea to twist it a bit more and add that fantasy angle, and you get to let you see a bit more of my fantasy, sci-fi, that kind of love I have on the other side of things. So yeah, that was a real realization to me. It's not just about building a city and stuff. It's actually about getting this imagination going, building that space shuttle I built as a kid, or those monster trucks I used to build as a Technic builder, when I was growing up. That was amazing. I loved doing that. And seeing the monster truck lineup that Lego has coming out in the next kind of year is interesting as well. That kind of got me thinking, why are they doing so many monster trucks? I love monster trucks. I'm going to get a couple of them for sure. I love that hamburger monster truck. So that's something that's going to be happening. I really enjoy doing the news videos, but I will say they take me quite a long time to do. I'm trying to get a good system together, but actually pulling in all the images, talking about it, talking it through, trying not to make it too long and waffly, but getting everything in, putting it all up. It takes me about 3 hours beginning to end to do each of those news videos. I'm trying to get faster at it. I've got a bit more of a system now. I'm probably down to 2.5 hours, but I don't tend to rush things when I'm doing stuff like that. And I could cut corners. I could do things a bit like drag it all in and then just go out the door. But I want it to actually be something you enjoy. I don't want to just sort of dump stuff on a screen and go, I got it out first. I want it to be meaningful. I want you to say, I want you to understand, I thought about it. I didn't just dump my thoughts on a screen and go, ugh. I actually did think about each of it. I went through it and I actually care about this. I want to know you. I want you to know I think this is good, this one's bad. I'm going to do some follow-ups on that as well around, what are those sets I'll actually pick out. What are my top 5 for what's been announced recently, stuff like that. So I want to talk about that in part of my channel too. I want to do the builds. I really enjoy doing the build videos, and I've been doing them kind of, reviews with builds in, and I think I'm going to pull the build out of the reviews. You'll notice the last couple I've done an unboxing kind of, here's the box, here's what's in the box, here's my review of it. And I think that's good. I think that's a good formula for a video. I haven't been doing open it, here's the box, opening it, here's a sped up build that lasts anything from 2 minutes to 5 or 6 minutes depending on the size of the set, and then here's the review, because I think it just makes it too long. I think there's value in the packaging. I'm a big fan of packaging. I come from a print background. I started work for my dad when I was 10 years old. I used to go and work. I used to go up to his studio. He used to run an advertising agency. I used to go up there with him in the when I was 10 years old. He used to work in London, and I used to work on his Macs, and he got me my first ever Mac, which was a Mac LC, which was affectionately known in the Mac community as the pizza box Mac, because it was like this sort of thin Mac. It ran at 8 megahertz. That's how old I am. That's how long I've been using computers. It ran at 8 megahertz and it had 8 megabytes of RAM. I got a booster card that could let me run it at 16 megahertz, but that actually crashed a lot of apps. That's where I come from, and I used to actually do print stuff on that little Mac with 8 megs of RAM. Imagine that. Anyway, so that's why I love kind of the whole how Lego puts things together, the composition, that, and I think that's important. I think when you open the box, that experience of going through it and seeing what's in it, and I really want to focus on that and make that more of it. And then kind of in the build phase, I want to do that separately as a side build. I want to do the videos I was doing, the kind of real time builds. I actually like those. I find those quite what's the word? Is it cathartic, lethargic, whatever it is? Like, I find that relaxing, and I want to do that, but I want to kind of give you a bit of narration as I do it as well. You know, what happened, and I won't make you watch the whole video. I have been putting indexes in my descriptions. If you ever look at my videos, most of my videos have an index in them, so you can jump through it. There's twofold to that one. One is you can jump through it, and two, it's actually good for SEO, which brings me on to something else I want to do, which is my experiences. I work in marketing. I've worked in marketing for a long time. I have a broad background in a lot of things, and I want to share some of that knowledge with you. I want you to kind of join me on my journey of how I'm making my channel work, what I'm doing, you know, adding in my GJBricks website, the YouTube channel, the things I've tried to kind of optimize my videos to make them work better, you know, longer videos, shorter videos, tags, descriptions, where I'm sharing it, that kind of thing. I want you to be part of that journey with me and how I'm building out my channel, my community, that, because I really want to be an active part of the community. I want to be sharing it with you. That's why I want you guys commenting, talking to me, tell me what you want. I'm here to listen to you. That's why I made this. That's why most of us do our channels. We want you to talk to us and tell us what you want. You look at Bricksonville, you look at Brickitect, you look at even GJBricks with his, you know, millions of followers. He still listens to what his followers on YouTube say. I won't say followers, that sounds like a cult. What his community say about his videos, about him. He does listen to it. He does actually go through most of his comments and listen to what people say. He's really good at that. I really like that about him. I think it's a very genuine thing. So that's where I'm going with my channel. I want to do those things. I want to focus on those things. I want to step it up a notch. I want to actually be spending a bit more time. So like I said in my last city update, I'm going to be moving from this room. I've realised one of the problems I have in this room is at the moment, if you look at my Instagram account, I just put a photo up of how I've got this setup that I'm doing right now. And it's chaotic. Like, it's not a nice setup in terms of I have to kind of move things around. I can't do certain things in the room. I wanted to do some videos with my kids this weekend, but I didn't really have anywhere to do it. Added to which we've all been sick this weekend, so that kind of put the knockers on it. This is the best I've felt all weekend, I'll be honest. I've been fighting a cold for the last 3 days, and I really wanted to do this. I really wanted to end my year by getting this done, this started, this longer journey. So yeah, I'm going to be moving rooms. I'm going to be changing how Studsburg is set up. I'm probably going to change it from being a square layout to slightly longer so I can do some different things. I'm going to make sure I've got a space set up where I can actually do building and filming properly without the stress of having to move lots of things around and navigate around spaces. I want it to be an environment that feels less rushed. It feels more creative, more, you know, okay, some people say, you know, chaos is good. Okay, yeah, I will buy that. But I don't want to be, the chaos is having to shoehorn boxes around here, there and everywhere to actually be able to do anything. I think the creativity comes from the fact that, you know, I've got a box of tubs here with spare parts from all the sets I've been building recently that I haven't yet filed away. You know, that kind of thing. I've got a poly bag here I want to build. Those kind of things. I want to be doing those quick snippets of content. I want to get, you know, today I found some poly bags in Coles. Incidentally, you guys know I always say it's so hard to find poly bags here in Australia. They had bags in Coles. So my kids have got a couple for Christmas. I got this one here because it's got some parts in it for a Santa mock I want to build. That one's aimed at Brick Bakery. I want to build a little Christmas mech like he's done. I was really inspired by that. yeah, that's what I want to do. So that's where I'm going to move to. I want to do a bit of a better setup. We're going to get a better camera as well. These Logitech one's been fantastic that I'm filming this on. I'm really happy with this one, but I want to get a proper Canon camera that's, you know, better than the one we've been using. It's a little point and shoot camera. I've had massive issues with certain things on it. I want to be able to use a proper mic like this one. You know, this is my blue microphone. I bought this recently in the sale because I wanted to do these kind of videos. And you know, sitting here talking, I'm just really enjoying just talking, and I hope you guys are enjoying listening to me and agree with what I'm talking. And you know, maybe I could have been a bit more structured, but then I don't feel I'm being as genuine. I had a couple of things I wanted to say in my head, and I know I've jumped around, but I think I've covered everything I wanted to actually say in this video. So that's where I'm going to go. In the 2020, I want to be doing more of this long form content. I want to be sharing the journey. I want to step up the notch, you know, a bar on what I'm doing. I want to be doing better things. I want to be doing better quality videos. I really want you to see and feel my passion. I want to grow this channel into a full community. I want this to go, I want this to go somewhere. I really enjoy it. I love the community feel. I just love talking to you guys, and I feel doing that I'll make even stronger bonds than I have now. I think I'll make new friends. I love seeing you guys talk to me. It gives me real energy. I love seeing my kids. Like when my kids see I've done a new video, they actually want to sit and watch it. I love that. Like, that's brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Makes me feel happy. So I think on that note, I'm going to stop talking for my first podcast, because I think I'm coming up to 25 minutes according to 26 minutes according to my my recorder here. So I'm going to wrap up there and say thank you for listening to my first podcast. I hope you've stayed to the end. I'll be doing more of these. How often, I don't know yet. It might not be regularly in terms of like every 4 weeks, as in I might try and do it quicker, but it will be every once a month, definitely. It might be quicker than that. I will be doing more long form content. Like I said, I want to do more of those kind of marketing things. I want to do more of everything Lego. I want to have a better setup so I can do more Lego for you. So let me know in the comments what you think of what I've just talked about. Let me know how you feel. Let me know what you want me to talk about. Let me know things you want to know. Do you want me to talk more about the kind of things I used to build as a kid? I will definitely do that in one of my future videos. But is there anything specific? I do have some old photos. My mum's been desperately trying to find old videos. I'm hoping the next time I go back to the UK, I can get all of my historic Lego shipped over here as well. I've got 2 full suitcases of Lego in the UK for reference. You know, that's a lot of Lego. I want to get over here. I want to sort through it. I want to actually start to put together some of my classic space sets, my classic train sets. I know one of them's actually broken, has been broken for years and years and years. So I want to get that fixed if I can. Figure out how to do it. I might pick Bricksonville's brains on that one, because he's very good at that kind of thing. So yeah, let me know. Talk to me. I'm here. You're my community. I love you guys. I'm so happy I started this. I'm so happy you guys are here with me, and thank you so much. So from my heart, I mean that. I love it, and let's keep this going. Let's make 2020 a fantastic year for the Lego community, for the GJBricks channel. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll speak to you again very, very soon.